Is Dogecoin dead? Let's talk about it on Kyle Talks Money. Is it time to finally admit that Doge likely has no future and could be a dead project? The wider market has bounced back over the past 48 hours, as we all know, and Bitcoin seems content, for now, over 50K. Yet over the past month, Doge has continued to fall. It's down 32.3% in the past 30 days, 20% in the past 2 weeks, and 16% in the past 7 days. Yes, Doge has been here almost since the beginning, but Elon clearly effed public perception with his misguided hustle comment on SNL, and a lot of attention and momentum has since turned to SHIB instead, as well as other shitcoins like Floki, etc, etc. I'm not a current Doge holder, but given that the coin is now well out of the top 10 supplanted by Luna, is it time to admit that Doge has finally had its day? Edit, Flare, and so much for Bitcoin holding 50K. 85% upvote ratio. There's a guy who the Space Force and Defense Department are paying $250,000 a year to go to MIT to study Bitcoin for them, to see how they could use its ledger in the same way they use GPS to store and track accurate, immutable information. He just got permission to go public with his work. He's been talking about it for months on Twitter Spaces. Look at Jason P. Lowry on Twitter to find his account. When looking up his background information, everything looks legit. This is probably what Biden's advisor meant when he said that his administration was mining Bitcoin, because from what I've heard this kid say in these Twitter Spaces, the stuff he's trying to do for them would involve mining and much more. His plan is to make Bitcoin the GPS and atomic clock of digital information, a solid, accurate ledger to store important information away from things like internet rot or wiki edits. For those who don't know, our current internet is rotting away. When you search on Google, it claims to have billions of results for any subject, but when you search through these subjects' results and actually dig through the pages, you only get on average about 350 to 470 links. The other billions, they've been lost to internet rot, the result of links being destroyed or lost from things like servers going offline, losing the data of billions of results per search. The loss of things you used to be able to find online can no longer be located. This apparently is a problem for the government, as a lot of those lost links were links used in actual court cases, leading to digital evidence being lost that in some cases would have been used to set legal precedents. There's a lot more to what he's doing for the military via the usage of Bitcoin's immutable ledger, but this is what I can remember off the top of my head. Hopefully he can set up an AMA with the mods one day. I bet this community would be very interested in hearing what he has to say in regards of what he's doing with using Bitcoin's immutable blockchain on the most powerful computer network on Earth for the Space Force and the Defense Department's needs. Here's an article of his. Here's the first paragraph. WAR is the globally adopted proof-of-work social consensus protocol that nodes, countries, use to validate the legitimate state of property and its chain of custody. Militaries project force across time, i.e. energy, in a fundamental game of probability to trigger a capitulation event. This is functionally identical to Bitcoin proof-of-work miners projecting energy to probabilistic triggers the end of each block, and it has a 96% upvote ratio. White papers today is nothing more than a long list of promises like that of a politician's manifesto before elections. White papers used to be a very important document of a crypto project, but with time some people brought a bad name to white paper and using it as a tool to steal people's money. People behind scam coins using white paper to lure investors, mostly newcomers, to invest their money into their scam coin. And when they got control over people's money, they then pulled the rug and ran away with people's money. Satoshi released Bitcoin's white paper to introduce what he has created, the purpose behind creating it, and how Bitcoin has been used. After Bitcoin, the white paper continued to hold a good reputation, and investors looked at it as a reliable document on which they can trust while putting their hard-earned money. But with time, the meaning and importance of white paper has changed, and there are thousands of coins claiming to solve different problems, with different use cases in their respective white papers. Simply, white papers turned into a list of promises, less of achievements to make you believe, and with the motive to take control of your money. Once the people behind a project have control of your money, then the rules, promises can change anytime. There are hundreds of examples in front of you, where white papers claim to achieve so many good things in the future. But after taking your money, the white paper means nothing and the intentions, visions get changed overnight. Essentially, the meaning and importance of white papers are no longer the same in which they intended to go back then. A 92% upvote ratio. Crypto crash. Over 60% of investors who borrowed money to buy Bitcoin are now shitting themselves. In a study by KIS Finance, it was revealed that over 2/3 of cryptocurrency investors borrowed money to make their purchase rather than using income and/or savings. Overall, more than 2/3, 64% of those who have invested in cryptos used one or more credit facilities to do so. Cryptocurrencies are highly volatile and risky ways to invest large sums of money. Bitcoin, for example, reached an all-time high of more than $69,000 in early November. Just a month later, it is now worth just over $50,000 per coin. That's a drop of almost $20,000 in just a few weeks. Percentage of crypto investors who used one or more credit facilities to fund purchases by age. 18 to 24 years old, 70%. 25 to 34 years old, 64%. 35 to 44-year-old, 68%. 45 to 54-year-olds, 62%. 55 to 64-year-olds, 45%. And 65 and above, 25%. As the data shows, those aged between 18 and 24 were the age group most likely to use borrowed funds to make their investment, with a significant drop of borrowers in the two highest group ages. What type of credit facilities have these people been using to make crypto investments? When we break down the kind of credit facilities people use to make crypto purchases, over a third, 35%, made their investment using a credit card. Almost a fifth, 19%, funded the purchase out of their overdraft. 35% from credit cards, 19% from overdraft, 14% from personal loans, 9% from security loans, 9% from secured loans, 7% from payday loans, and 3% from remortgage. Holly Andrews, managing director of KIS Finance, commented on these findings. Quote, "In recent years, cryptocurrencies have become far more mainstream, with tech giant PayPal now offering a currency trading platform. Although cryptos, and specifically Bitcoin, have seen people make thousands or even millions in profit, the last few weeks have shown that they are incredibly volatile and can see investors losing large percentages or all of what they put in very quickly. It's concerning to see that so many people have turned to borrowed funds to purchase cryptocurrencies, as they are extremely unpredictable and offer no guarantees that the money invested will be returned. So if people are investing money that isn't theirs and subsequently losing it, this could cause some serious financial challenges later down the line. The biggest concern is those who don't have the means to pay back the money back, especially if their original plan was to repay their loan with the profits made from their investment, with a very strong possibility of losing the money for good. People may be left severely out of pocket and racking up interest on their credit cards and overdrafts. Also, some credit card providers will view this type of transaction as a cash advance, meaning a cash advance fee and higher interest rates will be applied. So if you're thinking of making investment into cryptocurrencies, you should only invest in amounts of money that you can afford to lose and should be funded through income and or savings rather than a credit facility. Borrowing money to invest in cryptos can become a very vicious cycle that's difficult to break. Once you start losing money, it can be very tempting to invest more to make the money back, especially if you don't have other means of repaying the funds. Great care should be taken when you invest your money anywhere, especially when it's something as volatile as cryptocurrencies. If you can, seek some professional financial advice first and never invest more than you can afford. Buying cryptocurrency should always not be your only form of investment or savings, as there are very little stability. Spread your investments out and treat cryptocurrencies as a smaller, fun investment." End quote. Edit, "Dear my American friends, yes, credit cards are debt. Whether you pay it off immediately or not, it's still debt. 93% upvote ratio." Congress got a crash course on cryptocurrency. I'm not going to dive deep into all the details, but I watched and heard most of today's hearing and thought it went fairly well, except for one or two old dinosaur clowns who want to be funny and just brought negativity. The short is this: Gary Gensler took a beating. The witnesses and some members of the committee overemphasized the need for less interpretation, but instead more guidance being needed to be provided by the SEC. Second, to no one's surprise, Republicans argued that regulation would move this tech away from America. Democrats argued defending and protecting consumers. Please spare us all of your personal feelings towards party. We just don't care. Third, the lady who called the hearing is concerned how fast the industry is growing and is bothered by celebrities endorsing crypto. I agree with her on the second part. We don't need these clowns on TikTok or YouTube telling people to invest on Ethereum Max for their one shot to the moon. By the way, whatever happened to that shitcoin? Fourth, the big topic was stablecoins, and we knew this. There's also talk of CBDC, but stablecoins were the hot potato talk. That seems to rub some of these old people wrong. Fifth, personally, I thought many of the MOC were prepared and had done their research. Some even seemed excited to be discussing and learning about blockchain, stablecoins, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Stellar, FTX, and more. They even talked NFTs. I wish they had gone deeper into DeFi. I have a feeling this is coming. 6, I thought the FTX dude killed it. He was smart, sharp, educated, and didn't miss a beat. And lastly, I hope next time they invited Vitalik. Anyway, the hearing left me optimistic. I think the future is bright and we will own it. Keep buying those effing dips and hold to Jupiter. We are on our way. P.S. Please don't ape into Mongoose Coin. Trust me on this one. 96% upvote ratio. And for more news, stay tuned and subscribe to my channel. And as always, take care of your money.